Welcome to a brand new episode of The Finest Hour, where we bring you inspiring stories of achievement, growth, and success. I'm Ilona Pitt, your Finest Hour host, and my guest today is Adam Bradley. And Adam is an accomplished director of Corrosion Resistant Materials, or CRM. Tell us a little bit about what CRM does, Adam.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all, and what a great venue.
Yes.
It's been great.
Yeah.
So corrosion-resistant materials, we are specialist metal suppliers. So we supply nickel, duplexes, stainlesses in bar, sheet, plate form. But we also like to do value added on top of that. So it would be such as machining, heat treatment, testing, forging. So we're trying to offer that complete supply package to customers.
Mm-hmm. And your company has recently received the Queen's Award for Excellence in Business, and that's what we're going to talk about and dive into. Also, other very prestigious recognitions such as Made in Sheffield Award. You personally have been the Business Person of the Year,
last year was great for us,
Yeah. And there's, from what you said, there's some more stuff in the pipeline in terms of recognition. So, but obviously it's for something. So we'll find out about this in a second. With yourself, you have a proven track record in managing sales teams, engineering, global sales, and you've been in stockholding industry for years. So you joined CRM in what year?
It was 2018. So I've been 4 years now, just into my fifth year.
Into your fifth year. And at the time, the company was about £1 million turnover. It was a good company,
good company, great team. There was about 4 or 5 of them at the time. And they'd started it from absolutely nothing. So within that first 3-year period, to go from nothing to £1 million was a great achievement. And then I joined to kind of kickstart them onto the next step, which was exporting. So that was my vision for the company, was to take them on that exporting journey and just see kind of where we could take it.
And why did you decide to join this company? Was the people, or was the vision they had, and what attracted you?
To be honest, it was a bit of both. I worked for big steel stockholders, and getting anything kind of done was difficult. You had meetings about meetings, and you weren't able to get your own kind of vision across, your own stance on things. So at the time, privately owned company, small company, I could kind of take it where I felt I wanted to take it. So it was my own kind of vision on the export side. So it was as much a personal opportunity as well as a business opportunity to do that. And the guys are great. Chris and Leo own the company. We're mates, really. So you're working with your friends day in, day out, and just love it.
But from personal perspective, it's a bit of a risk. It's exciting. That's where you wanted. You knew that there's something that you can really achieve in a smaller business like that.
I think with smaller businesses, you can achieve more. And there's certainly that journey about it. So you're not just kind of going into an established business and saying, well, I'll add to that. You're really doing it from the grassroots up. So you're putting systems in place, people in place. You really are doing the full business side of things. So
let's fast forward, because it's 1 when you join, and it's 5.
5 now,
5 mil.
So
at the time when you was winning, or when you won the awards, it was 4.4. So a huge growth in a space of just 3, 4, 5 years, really. So you have been recognized with the Queen's Award, which is, you mentioned to me, you feel like that was this fine hour that everybody worked for. So tell us a bit more about the corrosion-resistant materials receiving this award.
We won the Queen's Award for international trade last April. So that was 2022, but it was a culmination of 3 years of hard work. So the process with the Queen's Award office is that you have to achieve substantial growth within a 3-year period. So the first year we were doing 100,000, went to 700,000, then 1.4 million of export sales. Customer-wise, we'd gone from a few to over 80 customers, and now we're trading to 38 different countries. We trade with the Middle East, the Far East, Australia, America, Europe. So it is kind of global now. Even though we're just based in Rotherham, one site in Rotherham. So it's,
That's amazing. And how did the team feel about receiving this award? Was it?
Yeah, it was for the entire team just great recognition.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're working day in day out, and you're working so hard within a company, to just receive any award is great. But then to receive an award from Her Majesty the Queen and the government, and just to basically say you're doing a good job.
Yeah. And it's a glass ball. I wish you brought it to our studio. I should have told you.
I wish I had,
but apparently nobody's allowed to touch it.
They're not allowed to touch it. Limited edition, one-off piece. So it's like a glass bowl that we received. But we also received a certificate, which was presented by the Lord Lieutenant from South Yorkshire.
Yeah.
At last August, at an awards ceremony, and that's signed by Her late Majesty the Queen.
Yes, historical.
Historical.
You can't get one of those anymore.
You can't get one of those.
No.
And I'm not going to tell you where it is either.
So can you walk us through the journey of your company's growth over these past 3 years? What led to receiving this award? Obviously, as you say, it's a day in, day out graft. It's the mindset, it's the people. Just give us take us on a journey of how it led you there.
I think when I first started, export was the obvious choice for me, because I've been exporting for 15 years. So I had the contacts, I had the kind of knowledge to take that opportunity before. So we started
so you worked hard to actually get to that point, personally, and then
absolutely. I mean, obviously, the 12 years before that, previously, I'd worked in export sales. I'd worked within the metals industry, and built up some good contacts, some good network of people. So the first and obvious choice was to lean on that kind of network. But then you have to build trust. You have to build that kind of, it's got to be personal as well. So even though they know you really well and you're going to do a good job, you're with a new company that has only been going for 3 years. So how are they going to trust you? So building that trust takes quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
So
and delivery of the product.
Absolutely, delivery of the product, what you promise, and the quality. Mm-hmm. So that's really key. So we worked hard on not going crazy, but satisfying key accounts really, and working hard to build that trust with people we felt we could really kind of do well with. Mm-hmm. And then you got repeat business. People started looking at you and saying, well, they're doing a great job. We'll send them an opportunity to quote and receive orders. So it grew.
So at the time, working day in, day out, have you thought that this is going to be a defining moment in your career later on? All this work that you've put in, and obviously
Absolutely
then you have had this at the back of your minds.
I didn't, to be honest, and I didn't realise how prestigious the Queen's Award was until we actually received the Queen's Award, because you kind of see it on paper. People mention it. Oh, this is something you should apply for because she's showing good growth in export.
So somebody mentioned it to you? Or how did you find out about it?
Somebody mentioned it to me back end of 2021. Local chamber.
Yeah.
Someone was there and said, "We're doing really great in export. Why don't you have a look at this award?" So I looked at it and thought, well, we can apply. It took us a good 6 months to put all the paperwork, the accounts and everything together. So it was a big project in itself. And then when we won the award, I realised that only 20% of companies are successful when they apply. And there were only 11 companies the year we won from South Yorkshire who actually received the award. Mm-hmm. Previous year, it was 3. So there's not many companies receive this recognition. So then again, you think, wow, that's great. You know what I mean? You're looking at it and thinking we're elevating ourselves to probably beyond where we should be.
And in terms of what the opportunities this brought to you since, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, we've now gone from export sales of around 1.4 million to 2.5 million in that last 12 months.
So you think that award has contributed to more trust into your excellence? And
absolutely, it's a sign of approval from the UK government that you are good at exporting, that you can be trustworthy, that you're not just a fly-by company. So I think that's built the trust, but we've also seen that growth as well from within his customer base growing more. Yeah.
So for all you SMEs out there, please consider opportunities like that, because there's so many great companies I find that we don't know about all these successes, and it's great to actually, it's very inspirational, like all this journey that you've done. And I know of many companies that also are going through this journey that I would like to also, inspire maybe to think about things like that. So, okay. In terms of looking back at this journey, is there anything you would have done differently over the last 3 to 4 years? Anything that you think could have? I'm sure you've done great. Obviously, you won the award, but is there anything you look back on and think?
Probably not. To be honest, I think in terms of exporting and that journey, we've done quite well. I think the only thing I would say is probably take a few more risks.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes when you're looking at deals, you think, well, should we go for it? Should we not? When you're growing, the cash flow is an issue and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, yeah. If we could have been a bit further on, if we'd have taken a few more risks, but that's the only thing. Yeah.
Who's holding back the risk? Who's there in the company saying,
it's probably all of us, to be honest. Yeah, all
yeah.
three of us, all three directors. Yeah, we like to. You don't want to grow too fast.
Yeah.
Because then cash flow becomes an issue, and you could risk obviously closing. And the main thing is that we keep a happy staff, that we pay wages and just have that natural growth.
Fantastic. So in terms of yourself, what advice would you give to your younger self starting out in industry and anybody who sort of is starting us up in a career?
Yeah. I would definitely say network's key. Your network is key, because whichever company you work for, you've always got that network to fall back on. So go out, speak to people, go to events, push yourself out there, use social media.
So is that you talking to
my younger self?
Yeah, younger
Probably,
self. Come on, Adam.
Even just 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd
just be more out there.
Be more out there. I didn't put any weight on relationships as much as I do now, and it's all about relationships. It's who you know. It's what contacts you've got, and that's critical in any business career.
So anybody starting out, where should they start?
God, what a question.
How did you start? What was your start?
Our start, it is just looking at network. I think networking's key. Have a look at some exhibitions that you could go along to.
Yeah.
Talk to people, get in front of people. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals as well.
Yeah.
So you could be talking to one particular good customer. Ask them who else is in their kind of field, and build it from there. So, yeah.
Brilliant. And in terms of your inspiration, do you get inspired by like people, organizations? Is there anybody that sort of defined your career or where you're at the moment, or it keeps doing that? You have any voices that you follow?
Yeah, I like to listen to a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of reading. I started doing a lot of reading during lockdown.
Yeah.
Just for something to do, really. So a lot of business books. And there's some great work. The guy called Steve Knapp, who's from my neck of the woods in South Yorkshire.
Steve Knapp,
yeah. Great course. He does a course. He's got a few books out there. And I picked up so much from him on effectively pushing yourself forward.
Yeah.
As a confidence. If you push yourself forward and you push yourself out, your personality will outshine everything, really, and people will buy from you. If you build trust as a person and not just as a company, then I think you're going to get a lot of reward from it.
Is he like a business person, or who is?
Yeah, he can't. I think he's got a long story. He started out working for Shell for 30 years ago, but he's recently started doing training courses and books and stuff local to where we are through Sheffield City region.
Brilliant. I'll definitely check it out.
Some absolute great stuff there to fall back
books
on.
and podcasts. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
I'll check it out for sure. So I think that's a wrap for this episode of Finest Hour, where we celebrate the moments that define success. We're grateful to have you here today, Adam. You're the experienced commercial director. You shared your story, how you've led corrosion-resistant materials to to winning the Queen's Award. I mean, you said it's 66% of the turnover is now export from 0 to 66.
Absolutely,
Am I right?
Yeah. It is now, yeah.
Yes, so I remember that.
It's a good, 66% now of the overall turnover, and growing as well.
And growing. So there's a lot more coming from you, I'm sure. So I look forward to following the journey or where it takes you. And, you know, you yourself, you wasn't even sure where it takes you.
I've no idea where it's going to take us, but that's the exciting thing.
I think you've got an idea. You just don't want to tell me.
That's the exciting thing. Yeah. If you just keep working hard and taking opportunities, who knows where you're going to end up? But yeah, we'll see where it takes us.
Brilliant. So, join us for the next time as we continue to be inspired by the stories of those who reached their finest hour. Until then, remember to chase your own success and never stop learning. I'm Ilona Pitt, your finest hour host. And until the next time, see you later and goodbye. Thank you.